Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Free Black Woman. I'm your host, Alicia Denise, and today we're actually going to start something new. So over the past few years, I've been collecting stories from Black women who inspire me, who encourage me, who I just think are awesome, people in general, and I've decided to start sharing those. So you should know that The Free Black Woman started out as a photo project, and the whole idea was to give a voice and a face to Black women from every background, every age, every belief system, just to let people know, like, hey, like, we're multifaceted. You know, there are a lot of stereotypes around Black women. And while I thought the photo project was fun and it was great, I also wanted it to be, I guess, a little bit more impactful. And I thought that the way to go about this should change. And so I decided to start sharing the actual stories of these women. Like, it's nice to see their faces, but I think it's more important to hear their stories and hear the stories behind those faces. So this is just like the photo project in that people will be given a platform to speak their stories. People, again, from every age, every background. I feel like every Black woman's story is important, and too often we do not have the opportunity or the platform to share our stories authentically and in safe spaces. And so I wanted to create a safe space for Black women, and that's what I did here. So we're actually going to start sharing the stories of these Black women, and I cannot wait. There are so many Black women who are in the lineup, so many more I'm going to interview soon. And today's guest is Denise. She has labeled herself as the forgiving Black woman, and you'll find out why in the episode. But we talk about everything in this episode. It's just really juicy, really good. And we talk about the importance of Black community amongst women. We talk about being a safe place for other Black women, how being free sets others free. We talk about counseling, microaggressions at the workplace, being newly married, and the lessons that we learned while we were single, the importance of taking our time, the importance of going slow and being present and being deliberate. It's just really great. It was really refreshing to re-listen to this. This episode, you should know, was recorded a couple of years ago. So we weren't actually face to face. I know that Corona is happening. We want to be really, really safe. And so for some of the interviews, there will be face to face, but a lot of them after that will be over Zoom. So the quality might change a little bit, but the stories are still amazing. So I hope that you stay tuned for that. And without further ado, I introduce the amazing, the wonderful, the beautiful, the joyful Denise, the forgiving Black woman. All right, so thank you for coming, and well, thanks for being a willing participant in this interview. So why don't you start with, who is Denise and how did she come to be?
I was born in a manger. No, just kidding. Okay. My birth name is Denise Natasha Joy Copeland.
Okay. Yes.
My mom had me at the tender age of 19.
Yay.
At the time, she was a single parent, but she eventually married my father. Aw, cute love story. They were 14 years old when they met.
Aww.
Got on each other's nerves, fell in love, got on each other's nerves, had a baby.
Yeah.
And I brought so much joy to their lives that they decided, you know what? You don't annoy me that much, so let's stay together forever and have all these children.
Yeah.
No.
Years later.
Right. I'm not sure how far you want me to go with that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. I am a unique person. An educator, writer, self-imposed writer. No, just kidding.
No.
I'm self-proclaimed.
You are a writer, yeah.
A writer, a wife. So I said my birth name is that because my married name is Denise Natasha Joy Césaire.
Oh.
Which everybody seems to mispronounce. So Césaire.
So how what is it like being a wife now? Like,
oh my God.
Coming from being,
single for my whole life. I always call it a beautiful challenge because I feel like I'm learning so much. And I feel like it's cliche to say this, but when people say it, they really, really mean it. I'm learning so much about myself about him.
Yeah.
And whenever you really create a space to learn about yourself, it's challenging.
Yeah.
But it's also beautiful because every single moment that you learn something new about the person, there's a moment of change or evolution. and like the choice to actually like, okay, so I'm not going to eat this entire box of cereal that's my favorite because I have to share it because I'm a wife.
Exactly.
It's beautiful because I find myself doing a lot of little things that are super, super little, but like I know it would please him or make a smile on his face. And like it was born of him doing it for me. So like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it is true when people say that, and people do find it to be a cliche, but it's true. Like it's very reflective. Like marriage is like a mirror, you know, you're with this person most of your, apart from like working, like you're with this person like most of your days, and like little things that get on your nerves and stuff like that, like you'll be looking at yourself like, did I really just say that? Because I was irritated. I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yes.
Like, so yeah. So what makes you come alive? Like what are some things that make you come alive, that ignite your passions or like break your heart, things like that?
Oh my God. So first of all, I love to see other people win, and like I'm super passionate about it. Sometimes I go too hard. Like my coworkers, they're like, relax. David, my husband, is like, relax. My family. But like I will go to the ends of the earth to make sure people are seen, people are heard. Like if they have a gift, I'm like pushing them. I don't care if they don't want to be pushed. I'm like, no, you got this. You could do it. So like things like that come alive. And like in my education, I wanted to be a teacher. And I thought like that I'm going to do that. Like I'm going to make sure kids learn everything it is that they need to learn, and I'm going to push them. And then through that, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually a counselor. And so I pursued that, and I became a counselor, a college counselor. And I was just like, every single kid has a dream, and I have to push them and make them like know that they can do it. And that was like deeply like I was so passionate about it. Like I feel like I even made myself sick, you know? Like going so hard, staying up late at night, like going through their grades and making sure I looked up every single college. And like I was really losing myself in that. And then eventually I switched gears and realized like it was the planning behind it, the detail, the execution. And like I realized like I didn't have to physically do everything. And so I became an administrator for the Department of Education that helps schools and their leaders think about how they're going to implement plans and structures. So like the root of it is like I come alive when I see structures and systems put in place for people to win.
So it ties with the first one. Like so like within I guess like the woman community, or like more specific like the Black women community, I think sometimes the narrative that's pushed is that we don't want each other to win because I guess scarcity mindset and stuff like that. Like what are your thoughts about that? Like why do you think people do that?
Like first of all, just speaking of that, like as a Black woman who chooses to like push other people, I don't know why people always think like there's either a hidden agenda attached to it, or like she lying, she didn't deal with some unresolved issues. And like, why are you pushing everybody else? What about you? And I'm like, I'm in my element. I'm pushing you.
Right.
But I feel like it's because society is just so used to Black women like being at the back end or just like choosing to suffer. Like every movie, you always see the Black mother on the bus with her feet tired coming from her third job. Like you don't see her out there pushing and winning. And then if there is a movie like that, there's always like some other dilemma. She's mean. She's like hateful, or she's in love with some white man. You know, like. You know, they're not used to seeing us, but we are out here. We're just not making a big deal of us being out here.
Exactly.
So I think society itself is not used to us in that light. That's like, I know I got stuff and I'm dealing with it, but I still have space for me to celebrate you.
Exactly.
And watch you win and push you and help you, you know, in your next endeavor.
Exactly.
You know, because as you win, there's a powerful quote by Marianne Williamson that says, like, as you're liberated from your own fears, you give others the space to be liberated as well.
Yeah.
And I've always lived by that. I remember in college, I had an index card that I wrote like the whole quote. And I will keep it in my, I was such a nerd.
No.
Keep it in my binder and like look at it every day like, yep, I'm getting this degree so other people can win.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think I mean, I know for some people, community is really hard to find, and like authentic community, like people who really cheer for you and really go to bat for you with no hidden agendas. Even personally, like I found that to be like difficult. So how do you go about creating a community for yourself, or even filtering people into your community?
It is so hard.
Yeah.
It's like, dang.
Yeah.
And even when you find that community, there's always like a breach, a hole.
There is.
Or like, dang, sis, I was celebrating you forever.
Yeah.
It's my turn. Where you at? You know? But like I try to lead by example, and even in that, like I was mentioning, like some people are either intimidated by it or think there's some other agenda behind, like, I'm gonna celebrate you and I'm gonna go hard for you, that they clam up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I try to make sure in my communication with other people and like talking and thinking with other people, like, to let them know, like, I'm a safe place.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's very exhausting and taxing and self-sacrificing to always try to make sure people know, like, this is a safe space.
Yeah.
Even at the expense of, you just did me wrong, and I'm not going to rip you to shreds the way I know I could.
Yeah.
That's the other side of you. Ask what Denise is. Like, there's the other side of me, like, I know I can say or do something that will rip you to shreds, but I won't.
Yeah.
And you know I could too.
Yes.
But I won't.
Yeah.
Because you don't need that.
Yeah.
And I still want you to win.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very scary place.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we think about like Christ, like God, he sees us and knows us and knows everything about us.
Everything.
And like, he has the power to like rip us a shred when we don't do the right thing.
Yeah.
But yet he still makes room for us.
Yeah.
And like, I try to truly be a follower of Christ. And so I don't give people that opportunity to see me in that light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because it's not worth it. Like, what glory and gain am I going to get at? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and what did that other person deal with? What did that sister deal with?
Yeah.
That now she has to, like, on top of whatever it is she dealt with to put her in a situation to be negative towards me. Like, now I'm going to combat her? No. No.
It's almost like not a fair fight, almost.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. I think it's the safe place. It was interesting because I was going to write that down. I was like, but no, well, I'll say that but it still came up. I think, like you said, it is hard to be a safe place because while you're also dealing with your own stuff, you're taking other people's stuff, and it's not necessarily burdensome, like, oh, I don't know, people throw around this word toxic, right? And they say like, oh, people are toxic because, you know, they bring my energy down. They're not positive all the time. But it's like, that's really unfair to expect people to be positive all the time. You know, people go through bouts of hard times or whatever. So giving people the safe place to be down and things like that, you learn stuff about people. And so I know personally, I've been in situations, and you know about those, like where people have been safe places for me. And then they use, when upset or when whatever, when they're in their feelings, have used the information that I've shared with them to kind of rip me to shreds. And so, but in turn, I did not, even though, like you said, even though I could, like I have things on you, like I could, but again, it's not a fair fight because if you were well, you wouldn't have to do that to me.
Exactly.
Right? So like, it's like you said, it's always self-sacrificing. It's all, even at the expense of like having your name tarnished and your like, cause that could be, it's a very humbling experience. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. So how do you feel like women can better be safe places for each other? Like how, if you have any.
Yeah, I feel like dealing with yourself in the realest way possible, putting yourself in other people's shoes no matter what. Like, if you met the most horrible human being on this earth. And like, whenever I meet people, I don't care who you are or how you act, I always try to look at you. I look in the small things that you're doing, like, okay, there's a bowl of M&Ms. You chose the brown one over all the other ones.
Why?
Like, I'm looking,
Yeah.
That might be a little extra,
No.
but like, I try to find something in you, like, what gave you a smile today? Like, what's going to make you smile? Even if you're the worst person, I want to see, what is it?
Yeah.
Because when you push past all of the negativity, you are then able to have, like, if there's some level of hope inside of you. And so, like, when you are dealing with yourself first, like, how am I showing up in the world? Then you automatically create space for other people to have room to be their authentic selves.
Yeah.
Like, when I am upset or frustrated, and if it comes out in in conversation or in a gesture, if I'm rolling my eyes or, I walk past you 3 times and don't speak, I'm checking myself.
Yeah.
And I'm making it my business to go back and speak. As
like,
much as it will eat up at me, like, ooh, I don't want to speak. But I know, like, what good is that going to get you? And I feel like as women, we need to remember, like, she's still a soul. Like, I have people now that I'm dealing with that I don't understand for the life of me why they hate me so much. But at the same time, I'm not going to give that person the opportunity to miss heaven because they're so worried about being upset with me. So every opportunity I get to smile at you, to talk to you, I'm not going to be all up in your face because I feel like at that point it's fake. But you will always get a kindness from me. Even if it hurts to smile and say hello to you, because I know you're going to throw a little shade back.
It's almost like people are looking for shade. You know what I mean? It's like, no matter how kind you can be and how well-meaning you are, people will always find ways to misconstrue or mistake anything like you say to them. But I think it's almost like, so this is called the Free Black Woman. I feel like kind of listening to what you're saying reminds me, like, you being free allows other people to be free. Like, when you're talking about being your authentic self, even if you are upset, I think in a safe place, like serving and making sure this is the right place and showing up the right way, you can still communicate, I'm hurt or I'm upset. And even though I'm upset, like, I'm still going to treat you with respect and with, honor, because you are a human being. And I think showing up and being free in that, where you don't have to necessarily pretend, but still be cordial. Be like, when someone asks you, like, oh, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm pretty upset right now, but whatever. Like, I feel like that would make somebody be like, okay, well, how are you dealing with this? How are you, you know what I'm saying? How are you even able to be here with all this stuff going on? So, like, what does it mean to you to be, like, a free woman or a free Black woman?
I feel like it's just addressing all of the uniqueness and caring about all the uniqueness that I bring to the table, like the things that make me smile, the things that make me different, choosing to appreciate that and celebrate it and not be intimidated by others. And, I like to dress a certain way. I'm not stylish. I don't claim to be stylish, but there are just things that I enjoy wearing that are comfortable. And I go at it as if I was Cardi B in her Fashion Nova. Like, I think I like when I could do my hair a certain way and let it flow, and my plain white shirt. And
and be totally confident. How did you get to that point? Like, because I know in life, in the world, like, there's a lot of pressure for women to show up a certain way and to look a certain way or whatever, and to not be comfortable. But how did you become comfortable in who you are, even if it doesn't look like what people may perceive to be the standard, using air quotes?
Listen, I have been fortunate enough where people around the world and anywhere have complimented me, and I've held on to those compliments. Not everybody. And I didn't look at, like, okay, the most popular person didn't celebrate my little outfit that I put together and spent hard. But there was somebody that said, oh, that looks nice. And I'm not looking for the most popular. I'm not looking for 10 people said I look good today.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think it's, if somebody says it, I think that that's a win, you know?
Yeah.
And not necessarily like to do it for the praise of others, but it's extremely encouraging if somebody sees something that you've worked hard for.
Of course.
Like, girl, you look cute with your little shoes.
Right.
Girl, I got these on sale and I'm happy about it. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
You know? So like those little compliments, even when I was in grade school and it was my mother.
Yeah.
You know, or my father.
Yeah.
And speaking of my father, he used to do something that, oh my God, I think for the entire high school experience, it stressed me.
Okay.
But I used to try so hard to like put little pieces together and try to look cute.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, Daddy, how I look? He used to be like, how do you think you look? And it used to irk me so mad.
That could be annoying.
And I used to say, Daddy, don't say how you think I look, but how do I look?
Yeah.
He's like, you know I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, when I got to college and I was like, when nobody really cares about how you look in college, but when it was time for me to, like, put little pieces together, I was like, well, I know I look good. And then I'm like, oh, my daddy used to try to get me to, like, think that way, and now I do. Yeah. And so, I think it stems from that, too.
Yeah. I think, I know that growing up, I feel like sometimes when you grow up, you have to unlearn things that you learned but there are some things that are embedded in you as children. And for those who are fortunate, they have like those positive moments. So how would you look at your mom? Like, how has she inspired you to be a free Black woman?
Oh my God. That is the most free woman I have ever met. Even when I'm getting on her case about a hairstyle choice, an outfit choice, a food option choice, she will go to the ends of the earth and say, I do not care.
Yeah.
My mom, her hair started turning gray when she was 30.
Oh, wow.
And
really?
So, and one of her best friend beauticians used to like, girl, let me put a color in it. And for a while, she would color it. One day, she made up in her mind, style it with the gray.
Yeah.
And people used to be like, oh, you're not going to color that in? And she used to say no and look at them like, no.
Yeah.
And I always like admired how like hard she would go for herself and celebrate herself. Yeah. When everybody else would be like, oh, girl, why you going back to college with 3 kids? Why you doing? And she used to say, everybody always want to have something to say.
That's true.
Either you going to let them speak in your ear and you don't get nothing done, or you going to keep going, get everything you want done.
Yeah.
And let them sit on the sidelines like, wow, you got 2 degrees and 4 kids. Yep.
Yes.
So, they always going to have something to say. But she really, really inspired me because I feel like I watched her go through stuff. Yeah. And I watched how she handled it. My mother prayed about every and anything all the time.
That's good, though.
Oh, my God.
Because there are times I feel like I should pray and I don't.
Right. Right. Yeah. Oh, my God. She could be going through life, hell and hot water and like $2 to her name and 4 kids to feed. And she would... No matter what, we found our way to a prayer service. We found our way on our knees in the house. Yeah. I remember hungry belly and praying and then food happening.
Wow.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, so I watched the miracles that my mom endured. And like, it was always like extremely passionate. I watched her sit at the kitchen table on a typewriter back when typewriters was a thing, trying to figure out a paper. Yeah. Like reading this book with 4 kids running around. Yeah. And trying to figure out how to write a paper. Oof. And I feel like every single time I was in the library stressing over how to write papers, I would stop myself and be like, remember when your mother was trying to do it with all y'all in her face? You ain't got nobody. So, and she never had to like talk to me about getting work done and none of that. Like, I mean, my parents were always pretty leisure about that, but like, her experience was the chastiser. Yeah. Because I would feel like, oh no, you don't deserve to be slacking. So she always pushed me, whether she realizes it or not.
Yeah. Aw, that's beautiful though. Yeah. So how do you hold on to that, like navigating through the world? I feel like being Christian, being a woman, being a Black woman, there's so much opposition. How we talked about before with influences, which influences how we should show up in the world or how we think we should show up in the world, and what we can do, what we can't do, how to appear. Because I think even starting this project talking about how the world sees us as angry Black women, right? And so I can't be mad. I can't be, you know, all of myself because the world can't accept all of myself. How do you hold on to being yourself, being authentic, being free, and being comfortable with yourself, navigating through the world? Like,
yeah. Honestly, it is a daily challenge. It shows up in work.
Yeah.
But you know what? Advocacy. I feel like advocating for myself, no matter who it is, what it is, creating a space where I can be free.
Yeah.
If I'm attending an event, a gathering, and almost everybody there can't take me being there, I realize that's not the space for me.
Wow.
And I make the choice to remove myself.
So instead of trying to
be, trying to fit. No, because there is a space for me in the world. It's up to me to find it or create it, you know? I remember dealing with a situation at work where I was experiencing a microaggression from a white colleague. And, you know, it's a high profile job. Everybody's there trying to do their part. I mean, I work on like a unicorn team. Everybody loves each other. And
that's
like,
beautiful.
Oh my God. It's hard to see like subtle racism or microaggressions. And I started experiencing it, and I watched how it would show up, and I watched how like it would show up with a smile, show up with a, but are you okay?
Right.
You know? And so I had to take a risk. So advocacy also comes with like taking risks and knowing when to speak up as a Black woman. And being free enough to speak up. And like the people around me need to know, like I'm always going to speak up for myself because nothing in this world is more important than me, even a job. I can find another one. So having to speak up to a leader who was, you know, really not creating an environment for me to be productive. It was a risk, but it was one that was great, and it actually change and shift culture in the office to really discuss some inequities that, you know, we're experiencing. And I had to really, really think about who I wanted to be and who I needed to be for that hour. And like 6 other women came forward and said, you know, Denise, I'm so happy that you said something because I was dealing with it too. You know? So
again, you being free enough.
Exactly.
And
as
brave
you're
enough.
liberated from your own fears, you give people the space to be liberated as well. And really doing that. I also think is really important, even in our own families, to help our families understand who we are and who we're becoming.
Wow.
Like, it's
that's
hard.
Heavy.
It's heavy because they're used to you being little Niecy, little Lily, little whoever. And especially as a Black woman, they don't see you as a full-fledged adult.
No.
And I come from a big family, a lot of opinionated people. And I had to make choices, even in like wedding planning, even in like making personal choices to move to Manhattan, to move, you know, to move in the world. I remember when I first decided after college that I was going to go teach in Africa. I had family members who were like, absolutely not.
Really?
And it was I realized it was their own fears. They've never seen the world, so they don't understand that it's possible. And I had to say, I'm absolutely going.
Like, I don't know about where you are, but
and like it's okay. You're gonna watch and you're gonna see and you're gonna understand that it's okay.
Exactly. I think it's almost or exact opposite of what we're kind of taught as Black women. I feel like Black women are always taking care of people. They're always kind of subservient and in a serving position, which is not necessarily a lower position, but I think sometimes we serve people at the expense of our own dreams, our own.
Absolutely.
So,
I remember at one point, every time I was traveling, somebody was saying, and some of it was other Black women who were like, girl, you better stop all of that travel. You ain't gonna never find a man.
Oh God.
How you expect to get married and you always in another country? You always busy. You always going. And I'm looking at them like, God help them. because you ain't doing nothing with what you got going on, but you want me to stay stagnant. And like, and I had every right. I'm a full-fledged adult traveling the world. I had every right to. I could have been disrespectful and say, "Girl, lady,
mind your business.
You ain't doing nothing. What you want me to be like you?"
Yeah.
But that's disrespectful.
Yeah, it is.
And I would never. But what I had to do was smile, nod, and make choices. And I know people in my community who heard other things like what I heard growing up. And made choices to not. They still desiring to travel the world, still desiring to do things. Yeah. But because of that, almost like a resounding gong, that's essentially telling them they can't.
It's almost like play it safe. Play it safe. The safe is not better. Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. Like you're talking about, if you want, like about singleness and traveling. And I know because even when I was younger, it was a thing like, oh, I don't know if it was like media or like my parents were like, oh, I need to be married by this age. Yeah. And then if I'm not, then somehow I'm a failure or whatever. This was my thought for a minute. And so I'm like, okay, I can't travel. I can't do what I want to do because I'm going to miss out on these other opportunities. But then I read something that was saying, we're talking about God orchestrating our story, right? God is bigger than the planet. So
absolutely.
If you're across the world, then it shouldn't matter where you are. Like he will set things up in the time that he wants to set them up. So how did you deal with that? Like being single and traveling and just living your life? Like,
yeah, first of all, I would hear, so the same community that was like, oh, you ain't gonna find a man, or you always single, and you always preaching this single, saved, satisfied thing. At times it would get to me. Yeah. And my close friends, they would hear me going on and on about how frustrating it is to like grow up and not be in a relationship, right? But when I really got quiet and to myself, that's why I said it's important to really know yourself and spend time with yourself, because when I got quiet, I would look around and say, well, this is a perfect opportunity to do everything I want to do. Yeah. So that when it's time, I don't feel like I'm missing out. Yeah. And I would, and you want to know something? I had friends, associate, other coworkers who were in relationships at a time when I was single. Yeah. And they would always secretly tell me, you doing the right thing. Yeah. You doing the right thing, girl. Don't let nobody rush you. And if everybody in a relationship telling me don't let nobody rush me, I said, all right, thank you, sis. I really appreciate that encouragement. Yeah. They wouldn't necessarily do it in public, though. Right. Because society's standard is, where's your boo? Yeah. Where's your man? Yeah. And
like somehow your worth comes from someone relating to you.
Right. Yeah. And trust and believe, there was always a brother knocking on the door, wanting to know what's up.
Let him know.
But then, and it's not like I'm like, ooh, you are beyond me. Do not come to my doorstep. I would listen. Yeah. I would see what he was about. Yeah. And then when he heard what I was about, it was like, all right, this ain't gonna go nowhere. Yep. Because I always had standards. A certain amount of standards. I'm not participating in this right now. Listen, if you really stepping hard, this is where I'm at this point in my life. You got to step with me, or I'm going to let you do you, and I'm going to keep doing me. I'm going to travel, do what I do. And when you're serious, you'll show up.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the truth. That's the honest truth. And I think for me right now, what's really, I guess, resounding in my mind is don't let anybody rush your story.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Even now, like I'm 29 now. At this point, I feel like I should be further along in life because whoever they are, they say that you should be further along in life. I should be having kids by now. I should be owning my own house and land, and I'm not ready for that. Yeah, and I feel like God gives us what we can handle. And if I really had all those things, like, I'm married, but we're still trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's going to be forever.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you're always going to be maturing into a different person. People think, oh, I don't know. Some people have this mindset about marriage that it's going to be boring. And I honestly had that thought too. But if I'm turning into a different person every day, so is my husband. So we're always going to be, it's about doing the work to learn each other and staying committed. But anyway, so about staying true to your own timeline. Everything happens in its time.
Yeah.
I'm serving the God, the creator of universe, the owner, the person who deals with time. He created time.
Yep.
So why am I trying to live outside of his timeline because the world says? If I'm not supposed to live like the world, why am I so concerned with what the world says?
Absolutely.
Where the world says I should be right now. So yeah, so I needed to hear that because
and when it came to relationships, God has always checked me.
Yeah.
I remember being in a relationship. Thought I was so young, but I just thought it was going somewhere.
Yeah.
And God was like, nope, that ain't it.
Yeah.
And then
he has a way of
right. And then I chose, okay, I'm grown now. I'm in college.
Yeah.
I got in a relationship, and God was like, oh, you didn't get that one, huh? So he had a public, nope, that ain't it. And
Yikes. Yeah.
at that point, I said, God, I'm not going to keep operating outside your will.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust you in every single thing I do, even at the expense of being ridiculed or shamed or like ostracized.
Yeah.
And he promised me that if I actually took him at his word, he would show up and show out. And I am 100% a witness.
Floored.
Right. Like, he really did make a promise and he really kept his end of the bargain.
Yeah.
Was I always, like, I remember there was a season when I was, like, really genuinely thinking, well, there was a few seasons where I was thinking, like, oh, this is it. Surely it cometh now. And God was just like, nope. Yeah. That ain't it. But every single step of the way, I always learned something.
Yeah.
Learn something about what I want. And I feel like not enough, the reason why we as Black women are always like, I need to be with the guy at this point. I done got my degrees. I done traveled once or twice.
Yeah.
I belong at this point in my life is because we're constantly looking for, like, the next thing, the next step. Yeah. But, like, we forget to learn things in between. Yeah. And so I really tried to take the time to learn things in between. And so now, like, my husband knows exactly what my needs are. And, like, I didn't know that I would need to express it or require it. Yeah. You know, but I remember there were situations where I'm like, I don't like the way he talks. Yeah. When he's talking to me. Yeah. You know, like, it wouldn't be anything crazy because ain't nobody gonna get crazy with me. But I'm like, I don't really like that. Yeah. Yeah. Or, you know what? In order for me to feel safe, I need my man to do this. Yeah. Like, but I learned that through friendships, through association, through trial and error. Oh, yeah. Through brothers stepping up and they ain't being about nothing. Okay. Right? Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm picking up these gems along the way and I'm not going to waste them. I'm going to hold them. Yeah. 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 And I'm going to make sure it's worth it when it's my turn. Make sure it's worth it. Yeah. That's really good. I think sometimes we go through things because we don't learn what we're supposed to. And I know that that's another cliche, but I really think sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's just, people are just trash, to be honest. Yeah. But at the same time, if you're not learning anything, then you're wasting those trials and those experiences. You're wasting your pain and those tears. Like, don't waste your pain. Like, take those out. Write it down. Don't forget. Tell somebody. And that's what people say, forgive and forget. I don't believe you should forget. Yeah. I don't think you should ever forget. It's almost impossible to forget. Right. Forgive, yes, but how will you learn if someone forgive and learn? Yeah, forgive and learn. That's better. That's so much better. But as a free Black woman, like, who were, if you could name a few people, like, the most influential people in your becoming a free Black woman, or as you become a free Black woman? Yeah. Well, you already know my mama. Yes. She is everything. Yeah. And I feel like I need to tell her that more. I mean, I tell her, but she requires a lot, so I really feel I need to tell her. Yeah. But my mom, my godmother, Vandalyn Kennedy, like, she is a free Black woman. Yeah. To the umpteenth power. And I've watched her in so many spaces just navigate it. And I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah. She always is going after something and, like, really committed to like showing up for herself as much as she shows up for the world. Yeah. Oddly enough, I had a teacher in high school. She was really Afrocentric, but she was also a teacher in the hood, and she just brought a different vibe that was really free Black woman. Like, when everybody was getting their perms and fresh cuts and being stylish, like, when I tell you she was beautiful, but, like, she would wear her flowing natural hair, and she taught, like, she taught us a lot of African American history stuff, and so, like, she was really, like, rooted deeply, and she would give me, like, poems and things to read on the side that really helped me to be cultured at a young age, where I didn't realize she was really planting seeds around, like, being yourself and being okay with being a Black woman. So, I saw her once and I was able to thank her. But, as we were adults in education, I was like, oh, look at you. She was like, look at you. So, definitely her. And then, honestly, like, my friends, like, I'm talking about, like, friends, like, people who were in my wedding, you know, like, just watching them navigate the world and watching them endure their own pains and struggles and, like, the bravery to keep going. You know, this world could really knock you off your feet and make you feel like, I'm going to stay down. And to truth be told, some of the situations that my friends have been in, I'm like, sis, if you stay down, I'm going to just make sure I cover you with a blanket. This is hard.
It's okay.
Right? But, like, watching them get up and pursue their dreams and goals, like, that is the most powerful thing to me. Just watching other people win and overcome their own struggles. It's enough encouragement for me to get up and do my own thing as well.
Beautiful. So what has freedom cost you?
Ooh, there's the question. I was like, ooh, these questions are good. Got me talking. What has freedom cost me? Let freedom ring. Freedom has really cost me, like, I would say the safety net of retreating to fear. Like, there's this, I feel like everybody has it or has experienced it, but there's a place that we can all go to where we're like, this world is jacked up. And I'm going to just stay right here. Because this is safe. Get up, go to my 9 to 5. Don't nobody bother me. Don't talk to me. I'm a wave and I'm a smile and I'm going to show up in the world. But there's a place in us that we can all retreat to. And I remember one day being in that place and, like, just going through life. Everybody thought it was awesome and I'm, like, doing my thing. But when I would get by myself, or, you know, and by myself, I don't mean physically, like, in my home by myself, but, like, I could be sitting on a train, you know, or sitting in a church service, Lord Jesus. And I would go to that place. And I realized, like, I'm going to that place out of safety and fear. I mean, well, not safety, but survival. Like, I'm out here just trying to survive. Right? And I thought that was okay. I'm like, this world done beat me up so much when I'm trying to pursue freedom. Right? And I remember one day I just said, I'm going to burn this place up because it's not going to serve me well in the long run. And, like, really thinking about, like, I'm never going to go back to that mindset of I'm just going to retreat. I'm going to let go of this safe place. And it was very scary, very challenging, but I knew that if I let it go, I could totally be free and not care about people, not care about what I don't have. And I remember making a conscious decision to give up that space. And it really does put you out there when you give up that space for real. So, like, I feel like, freedom has really cost me that. And it required me, like, getting rid of that space required me to address my issues. Which meant go to therapy.
Hello.
Right? Because, like, now you can't just go to that place in your own thoughts and stuck there. And I remember being in a room full of people, everybody laughing and talking, and I'm laughing too, but I'm in that place.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, ooh, this is scary. This is good.
Yeah.
You know, telling myself, like, this is good. They don't even know that we having a whole pity party right here. We smiling and laughing.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And, like, I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
You know, so it really cost me that safe place. So now you are what you get. Sorry, David. Because I'd be like,
shout out to David.
I don't feel this way. You know, it just requires you to be more honest, open, transparent.
Yeah.
It also puts you in a place to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to deal with vulnerability these days.
They don't, sadly.
I'm like, hello, do you realize my whole heart is right here?
Look at it.
And you got all of these arrows out.
Right.
You're not even trying to protect my heart.
No, that's real.
You know? So, yeah, that's what freedom has cost me.
What are some misconceptions about freedom that people have, you think?
I feel like people abuse that word. They overuse it. There's a lot of people doing a lot of jacked up stuff. And they be like, I'm free to be me. Yeah. But yet they're still in that cave. They're still showing up in that
it's ironic
place.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, stop. You're not free. Because if you were free, you wouldn't be bleeding all over all of us.
Yikes.
And it's like, don't do that.
Or even be free enough to say that you're not okay.
Right.
You know, like, no one's telling you have to show up perfect and whole.
Right.
Just show up.
Right.
And show up as yourself and not this
facade.
It's a lie, you saying that you're free. I totally agree with that. So just a few more questions. And then, okay. So what would be your one message of hope for Black women? Like, if you could go out, not saying you're going to die anytime soon.
Oh, God.
But you're looking at your life. Like, what would be the one message you want your life story to ring true to people? Like, what would you want to say to people? What would you want it to say to people?
It's okay to stay the course. And, like, as a believer, don't let this world try to convince you that you are out of time. Because, like, when you stay the course, I don't care how long it takes. It's the right course.
That's good, yeah.
And, like, you graduate.
Yeah.
You really graduate.
Yeah.
And I remember every single step of the way when it was finances. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this tuition. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And God would come through. And he wouldn't come through in no little way. He would come through in a way that's like jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
You know?
As he does.
Right?
What other way can he show up?
And he knows our innermost thoughts. And, like, as Black women especially, like, we have to know. We already know, but we have to rest in what we know about our ability to triumph, our ability to succeed, our ability to show up and show out. Like, you got it. You got the sauce. Like,
no, that's
really,
good.
Like, you are it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be you.
Yeah.
Our strength, it was just put in our DNA, our melanin.
Yeah.
You know, and we got it.
No,
it's okay wherever you are. It's okay, and you will get through it.
Yeah,
you can come from the bottom to the top in no time.
Yeah,
even if it's taken a long time, it's literally no time.
No, you're really speaking to me. Okay, so I'm just like, I'm gonna have to listen to this. That's over and over again.
So true. I'm a witness.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how I have all of these blessings right now. Like, I remember, it feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
When I was like on a pissy elevator. I sound like Cardi B right now, but like on a pissy elevator with like 25 cents, about to go to class, getting a 25-cent cake so I could have some type of sugar energy in me so I could focus in class, and feeling like, God, is this really about to be my life? Like, what am I doing? And now, like, all of this that I have, and I'm just like, who are you? Girl, you're doing it. And you still got so much more to do.
Absolutely.
So, like, our capacity as Black women is so huge.
Oh, my gosh.
And we got to take advantage of it.
Yes.
Get
For
up.
ourselves.
For ourselves.
We give so much to other people.
Even But
Go ahead.
even as we're going after it for ourselves, it's really for your other sister.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like every time I saw somebody else win, I'm like, oh, I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. I could do it.
Yeah.
She's doing it. I could do it.
It's almost selfish to keep it for yourself in that way. Like, it is for yourself, but then it's, like you said, it's also for someone else, like, always.
Yeah.
So before, when I first started this project, you mentioned, I had you define yourself, like, what word would you use to describe yourself? And you said the forgiving Black woman. And I know that was a while ago, but
I remember.
Okay, good.
Every day.
Okay, good. So why did you pick that word, and how are you the forgiving Black woman?
Yeah, it stems out of everything I talked about in this interview. There are so many people who are dealing with so many things. And I just feel like, first of all, I forgave myself for all the times that I was confused and didn't do the right thing, didn't think the right way, held my own self back from opportunities, right? So, like, I forgave myself, and then I was like, because at one point I used to go hard on myself, like, you should have spoke up. You know? But I forgave myself, and then I thought about what I felt like, what was going on in my mind in those moments, and I thought, if I'm dealing with this, so many other people are making mistakes, even if their mistakes are hurting me. So let me forgive them. And give them an opportunity to start over. Now, if they are like 100% off, then that's a different story. But like, I make it a habit to forgive. There's so many people walking around with hurt from issues that they can't even address because it's so confusing to address. Like parents who didn't do the right thing, who mishandled them growing up. You know, like, their parents didn't talk to them enough, or their parents didn't show them that, no, you're not supposed to do it that way, you're supposed to do it this way. And like, they're walking around with that hurt, especially when they see other people who've had that. And like, they don't understand, like, you have to be a forgiving person. Like, I watch people who are angry over little things, and I'm like, you're not really angry because they bumped you. You're angry because you didn't get to speak up about it when you were young, you know?
You're tired of being pushed around. There's always something else.
So many of us have dealt with so many things that we never got justice for. And so you have to, like, let it go. And, like, forgiving is really, like, about putting yourself in the other person's shoes and realizing, like, we're all coming from a hurt place. And so I really feel like I go hard to do that. I always create room. Like I mentioned earlier, like, there are people who I'm just so confused. Like, I have no idea what you're dealing with or why you don't like me. But if you want to come and have a cup of coffee and talk to me, the door will always be open. So I'm always going to forgive. I'm not going to hold you to that. I'm going to know and be careful around you, but I'm not going to hold it against you. And I feel like it's necessary. Especially in today's time where it's so easy, that cutoff. It's so easy to cut people off.
That's crazy.
And it's like, do we not care about community anymore?
We don't. That's the sad
what
part.
What happened to the village? Just like somebody came in and burned up our village.
Or you think that you need to tailor make it to figure out. You don't need yes men. You need people who will challenge you. You need people who will cause you to grow. Because if not, then what's the point? So, hi. No, it's okay. Just a couple more. So, what are some small ways that you pursue freedom every day?
I pursue it in a cup of coffee. No,
I mean, hey.
But yes, I find small things that I appreciate, that I enjoy, and I try to make sure I'm committed to doing that. Even if it's me finding my favorite quote online and, you know, putting it somewhere visible. I love quotes. Or choosing to go get that slice of pizza. And
treat yourself.
You know, being happy. I'm building my home, so like we chose to get a pet, a puppy who like brings us so much joy. And it's like really create an environment for small things that will make you smile no matter what. Because life can be so challenging. So like, you know, and then I also feel like I'm so grateful to have a husband, but like I love that we have our togetherness and we have our separateness. And it's like
You need that.
We are learning because we aren't 100% there yet, and I believe it's still because we're kind of newlyweds. So like we're not there yet. Sometimes we're like, no, I need you. I want to hug you. I want to cuddle you. But we're learning that sometimes you need that alone time to really just be with yourself. Because how can you love yourself if you don't spend time with yourself?
You don't know. Exactly.
And so I'm spending time with myself, like even if it's me doodling on a piece of paper or just thinking about things, writing, you know, but just finding moments to spend time alone. Go for a walk. Go look around. Some of us ain't never looked at trees before. You know, like, you so hurt because you didn't look at no trees. Go for a walk. Go look at the birds. See how nature is living.
No, it's real.
And it really does help you. Because then you see and you're like, there are beautiful things around me. There are things. God creates so many things.
Yeah, he does.
And just watching, like looking, have you ever looked at a leaf for what a leaf is for? Like, we take them so for granted so much.
It's literally art. It's all around
us. And then I remember one time I looked at a leaf on the ground, picked it up. I was like all in it, looking. And then all of a sudden I said, let me hit Google. So I started looking up leaves, and it's filled with so much nutrients. Like, it's so necessary. It gives us oxygen. And then
trees are like, you're welcome.
Right. And then I just started crying because and I didn't cry, you know, mostly in those moments. If you're a preacher, you'd be like, ooh, if God could think on a leaf, he could think on us. Right? But I started thinking about leaves are like people in the world. Excuse me. And how easy it is to like go past people. Everybody has a story. Everybody was uniquely made. And like, everybody has a purpose. And I thought about people who don't. So like being grateful for what's around us really does bring about peace. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Just one more question. So what do you love about being a Black woman, and how does that like add to you feeling free?
I love our hair.
True.
I talk about it all the time. I love how unique our hair is. And how versatile. Literally, we can do whatever we want with our hair.
It's almost like us.
And I feel, and I feel so bad that other people don't have it. Black women you can shave it off, grow it back, twist it, fry it, dye it, lay it to the side, spike it, wave it. And it's just a beautiful representation of who we are. And I love that the Bible, it was really made for us. Like, I don't understand how people don't understand that the Bible was made for brown people with woolly hair. Because the Bible talks about how our hair is our glory.
That's interesting.
And we are a representation of Christ. And he is the glory. He gets the glory. And so, like, our hair, some people take hair for granted, but like, it really is a representation of who we are because of the intricacies, the details, the versatility, the uniqueness. There are literally hair shows.
That's true.
And like,
it's true.
You can even weave, you can replicate it and still create something special. And it's like us. It's like, no matter what we've been through, whether they shaved us off, it grows back. We have opportunity to grow back. Even if you lose all of it, you can borrow it, put it on your head. Like, we've been so many coverings for so many people.
Wow.
Safety net.
Talk about that. Okay.
So a lot of people try to imitate us. You ain't got it, so you're going to leave it. You're going to inject it, right? Like, our hair, Black women's hair, is a representation of who we are. And it's just so beautiful. And like, that's why I can't keep a hairstyle for 2 or 3 days.
No, I feel you.
I'm
and you
always
don't have
ready.
to.
You don't have to. It's the choice and the freedom and the liberation that comes with it, right? And even for I love also to see like some Black women who, like, I know they're religious about their hairstyles. They will get the same hairstyle for 25 years and have that loyal hairstylists who are
bump.
like, you getting a bump and curl?
Right.
Juanita, you getting your bump and curls? Come on, girl.
Martin, got me Juanita.
I got that
That's
from
funny.
Martin.
Oh,
But Juanita bump and curls.
yeah.
But you know that that's the style that
Yeah.
she's getting.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love the consistency.
Yeah.
For some of us who are like, this is it.
Yeah.
I made my choice.
Yeah.
And it's okay, sis.
And this is who I am. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Like, so yeah, I love our hair.
I think
it
that's
represents
beautiful.
us.
That's beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have anything you want to promote or anything you want people to know? It doesn't even have to belong to you if it doesn't. Like, anything you want to...
Yes. As we are thinking about free Black women, this is May. We just left April,
Yes.
where we were seriously thinking about Black women surviving birth, childbirth.
Yes.
And like the rates are super high across this country, and like we as Black women need to come together, build our communities to care about each other, to care about living and surviving.
Yes.
If you're a Black woman and you care about women, care about health, care about children, consider becoming a doula. There aren't many that exist, and
Sadly.
we need it.
Yeah.
We need us to show up to the hospitals and know the lingo, know the language, listen to us when we say my legs are numb.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
not
what does
just
that mean?
because I'm in labor.
Exactly.
No, something is going on, and really just advocate for each other. And I'm not just saying it just about birthing, but like there are so many spaces where we need to join and come alive.
Yeah.
Justice and advocate for each
Yes.
other. We've been doing it for our Black boys for
Yes, we
so
have.
long. We've been doing it for our sons and our husbands. Like, let's show up for each other. Mental health.
Yes.
This is May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. And like, so many Black women, we're so used to bearing the burdens, but we don't have to anymore. So if we can come together, build communities that address mental health issues within Black women, get us the resources, become mental health professionals, we will help each other because we know we always have each other's back.
Oh, yeah. And no one knows us like
No one
we
knows
know
us like we know us.
And no one will care to know us either, unfortunately.
I
like
want
we care.
to make sure, like I made sure my doctors are all Black women. I did it intentionally because sis, you understand when I'm talking about certain things.
Yep.
And it's okay.
Yeah. My preference is someone who looks like me, who understands my struggle.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
No, that's a good message. And so closing out, I would like if you could for me to say, I am Denise and I am a free Black woman. So
I am Denise and I am a free Black woman.
yay! Thank you so much for doing this. Yay! Oh, did you want to share your information or? Okay, no, it's okay. We'll just cut that off. But thank you, thank you for being a part of this this project. So yay, and I love you. Thank you. Yay.